Cartoons, the animated frontier. These are the voyages of the Cellcast podcast. Its continuing mission to explore strange new cartoons, to seek out new animation styles and new creative storytelling methods, to boldly go where so few ever go again.
Welcome to another episode of the Cellcast. Joining me today is the strongest dog in the world who was able to take an entire sleigh full of all the presents of Whoville, plus all their Christmas decorations, up to the tippity top of Mount Crumpet, all by himself, while even allowing me to ride along with him all the way up there. Welcome, Jacob.
Dun, 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 dun.
Apparently, he's super dog.
Apparently, I'll take that. Why, thank you. Let me introduce our co-host. A man whose heart has extended beyond imagination, and it's his birthday today. Welcome, Drew.
Why, thank you. Before we jump too far into the episode, we have last week's trivia question, which is, the singer of You're a Mean One, Mr. Grinch was Thurl Ravenscroft. What commercial character did he also play? Do you know the answer, Jacob?
Yeah. Hold on. I can do that one. It's great.
Indeed, it was Tony the Tiger, which David Gardner was the first one to answer.
Rock on. Great job, Tony.
With Josh Adams also saying it was Tony the Tiger, and he was great.
David, my mistake.
Yes.
I called you Daniel for some reason. Either way.
Also, for some other fun things about what Thurl Ravenscroft sang.
Yeah.
If you go to Walt Disney World, I think in Walt Disneyland also, or Disneyland.
Yeah.
It's not Walt Disneyland, it's just Disneyland. And you ride the Haunted Mansion. He actually sings on that ride.
Really?
One of the songs. I don't think it's Grim Grinning Ghost. I think it's the one down in the ballroom.
Okay.
If I remember correctly. But yeah, that is what he's done, because he's an awesome singer. And anyway.
All right. So, speaking of, it is Drew's birthday. So
Indeed.
I made something. So now, Drew has not seen this before.
No, I have not.
All right. So now, granted, it's two things you love. You have mentioned numerous times how much you love this.
Star Trek and Kingdom Hearts.
No, keep guessing.
I don't know. Let me just look at the thing.
Something about an old TV show and a comic strip.
This could be anything.
Pull the lever.
If I can find it.
Hold on.
Did you put it in here?
Yeah,
Oh, there it is.
It's in there.
I found it. It's just way back up in there. I was wondering if that's what you were doing. Because I saw that picture of Hobbs in the thing and thought that's just an odd thing for him to do. Thank you. I am going to actually put this on the wall underneath Totoro over there.
Flip it. For the audience to see it.
I should show this.
It is Calvin and Hobbes as Batman and Robin.
Which is perfect. That is going to go on my wall, dude.
Awesome. You are more than welcome.
Yeah. I got to find thank you. I got to find a place to put this until I get to that point where it won't get messed up. Just slide them in right here for now. All right. So.
Awesome.
Jacob, how are you doing?
All right. So before that, I wanted to bring up something really quick. We had one of our fans, Heather Morgan. She had wished Drew happy birthday, and her son Samuel had
already posted.
Yeah, he already posted it. Here, Drew.
Nice.
Yeah, exactly. So thank you, Samuel.
Post that on the thing. I will pin it.
We will. I will. After the show, we'll definitely pin it and let everybody else know what this was. Thank you again, Samuel, for your amazing art. Because that's awesome, man. I'm doing pretty good. It's a busy week like it is. Obviously, it's 2 weeks from Christmas, and there again, Merry Christmas to all. And it's very poignant that we're doing a Christmas movie today. Very iconic Christmas movie.
Ironically, our last Christmas movie.
Ironically, our last,
because we are ending Christmas
a wee bit early.
You'll find out why in a minute.
Exactly.
By the end of the episode.
Exactly. So I've been doing very well. Work has been busy, trying to organize everything. Other than that, it's more just drawing a lot more and trying to get better at my craft. Obviously, as you just saw or heard. But either way, I will post that on the social medias later tonight. So yeah, other than that, yeah, doing pretty good. How about you, Drew?
I'm doing pretty well. I had a good birthday weekend visiting my parents.
Yeah.
The rest of my birthday celebration will be handled Friday night at about 6 o'clock at Times Square Cinema.
Ah.
As I so see Spider-Man No Way Home.
So what day are you seeing?
Friday.
Okay.
6 o'clock.
Okay.
Which is what I just said.
Well, I didn't hear the Friday part.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the Friday.
Fair enough.
Yeah,
Fair enough.
That's the same day I'm going to go see it.
Right. If you don't mind me going ahead and sliding into what I've been watching, because this is
Go
connected.
Go ahead.
Friday night, I threw in a movie that is Spider-Man related. It was Spider-Man, The Amazing Spider-Man.
Ah.
And it's probably been the first time I've watched that movie since it originally was in theaters.
I gotcha.
Then on Saturday, I threw in another Spider-Man movie, The Amazing Spider-Man 2.
Yeah.
Once again, it's probably been since it was in theaters that I watched it.
Right.
But the third Spider-Man movie that I watched yesterday, I have watched at least 2 other times since I originally saw it in theaters.
Okay.
One of those times was with you, and another one of those times was for the podcast.
Oh, okay.
Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse.
Oh, okay.
So,
good movie.
If we're putting it all together, I have seen in the last 2 years Civil War, which introduced Tom Holland.
Tom Holland is Spider-Man, the MCU.
Spider-Man Homecoming. I'm going to throw Doctor Strange in because he's involved. Avengers Infinity War. Avengers Endgame. Spider-Man Far From Home. Spider-Man. Spider-Man 2. Spider-Man 3. The Amazing Spider-Man. The Amazing Spider-Man 2. And Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. If that does not make me ready for Spider-Man No Way Home, nothing will.
So his spider senses are tingling at the moment.
Indeed. And I will be able to catch every reference made this coming Friday.
Now, if he has like a character Silk come along and be like that might be a good thing for him too.
Well, and here's the other thing. In the past 2 years, I've also beaten Spider-Man on PS4.
Right.
And Spider-Man Miles Morales, which I played on PS5.
Right.
So if they pull from that, I'm ready too, although I don't think they will.
Who knows?
I think the only things that they might pull from that I haven't watched might be the 90s Spider-Man cartoon, the 60s Spider-Man cartoon, and maybe Japanese Spider-Man.
Yeah.
You know, the one with the giant robots.
Yeah.
Who was the emissary from hell. At least that's what he always claimed when he introduced himself. So yeah, I am looking forward to Spider-Man. Also in the intervening time, of course, played Dragon Quest XI last night on the stream. And let's see, been playing a little bit of Final Fantasy XIV. I got to last Wednesday. I played up to what I think is finally the real crux of the story we've been wanting to do. We're finally making the big push into the Empire to start taking them out. But I had to stop at one point. It was about 8:15, and I was thinking about, coming to a stop anyway, when one of my favorite warnings showed up on screen.
Okay.
It said, "The following cutscene is long. You may want to set aside time in order to watch the entire cutscene."
Oh, okay.
There will also be a fight involved in the middle of the cutscene, in which you will have to actually, play the character.
Yeah.
And there will be save spots along the way. So I got to a point where I realized this is going to take more than 15 minutes.
Yeah.
I don't have time to play tonight because I gotta call my parents at 9 o'clock.
Right.
Kind of the whole still being a good son, even though I'm 30 on 6 years.
Right.
So I will probably be jumping into that tomorrow night.
All right.
First, assuming I get past the 2,000 person queue just to log into the game.
Jeez.
It's one of those things where I turn it on, it starts going, I switch my input to another channel and watch something on the other TV, on the other thing, and then just pop back over to make sure, okay, yeah, I'm good. Pop back over.
Right.
Continue watching, I don't know, X-Men or Hawkeye, or probably Hawkeye, because I've watched Hawkeye too, and Star Trek Discovery. And
that's something I need to watch is Hawkeye.
And because I've been visiting my parents, The Middle was also something I watched this week.
Oh, okay.
So, and also Wagon Train. We watched some Wagon Train.
Oh, okay.
And then a murder mystery thing where they were cutting people up.
Oh, fun.
And I watched some Tom and Jerry for the heck of it.
Interesting.
Which I think is about all I've been watching and playing.
All right.
What have you been watching, Jacob?
All right. So going over to our friend Chase's house, he was on our Tron episode, so go check that episode out.
Yes, we did watch a show over there, didn't we?
Yes, we did. What was that?
That was Blackadder.
Blackadder. I'd never heard of this.
Specifically season 4, where it's World War I.
Yeah, it's World War I. There again, this is Atkinson?
Rowan Atkinson, a.k.a. Zazu.
Zazu, yeah. A.k.a. Zazu.
A.k.a. Mr. Bean.
So
with Hugh Laurie, who, if you remember last week, was playing Steve Claus.
Yes, he was.
He played a woman in drag.
He did. Oh my gosh.
He was back when that sort of thing was just funny.
It was the 80s.
I don't know if it was the 80s.
It was the 80s.
Continue.
Yeah, it was the 80s. I just looked at it.
I didn't look at the year.
All right. Yeah, 1983 to 1989. Oh my gosh. I'd never laughed so hard in the longest time at a television series, and it was like, oh my gosh, like you have all these amazing comedians in one show. It's a BBC network show, and it was just hysterical. And so if you're like generally curious, it's available on Hulu if you are subscribed to Hulu. If you're interested in watching Blackadder and you don't get offended, go watch it. It's fun. So other than that, I have been on a certain binge as of lately. Recently I watched, I was just watching just a little while ago before we went live.
Right.
I was watching Digimon Digital Monsters or Digimon Adventure Season 1 on Hulu.
Yeah. I don't think you're going to get all through both seasons in time.
Both seasons? You're talking about all 4 seasons.
Both series.
Yeah, series.
Not counting Digimon Tamers.
Or Frontier.
I'm talking about what was season 3? The one where the guy made his own Digimon?
Yeah.
That was Tamers, wasn't it?
Yeah,
and
Tamers.
The 4th was Frontier. And then there's Fusion.
That's Data Squad.
Data Squad, yeah. And then there's Tri.
Yeah.
Now there's another Digimon Adventure that's a remake of the first season.
Yeah. Exactly.
It's just digitastic and prodigious.
Exactly.
Definitely prodigious.
Definitely prodigious. So I watched like the first 5 episodes of the original series. It's like, yeah, it's very much a kid's show, but it's got a lot of really good depth that a certain other series doesn't have. Pokemon. I kid. There again, I've watched a little bit of Pokemon, but
the sad thing is, if we're talking about the normal anime that everyone's familiar with Ash Ketchum, you're not wrong.
Thank you.
You're not wrong, but at the same time, I really want to throw Pokemon Origins at you.
Yeah, I keep it. I actually watched the first episode of Pokemon Origins. That was really good. Okay. Isn't that with Red and Blue?
It is Red and Blue in America.
Yeah.
In Japan, it's Red and Green.
Oh, okay.
Because in Japan, the versions were red and green, and so that's what they named the protagonist after. Then they made Blue later, and it's actually the version of Blue that got localized into America as our Pokemon Red and Blue.
Oh, okay.
For more on useless Pokemon trivia, check out our upcoming episode on Pokemon Detective Pikachu. I'm sure it's going to come up.
Yeah, it will. It will. So, yeah, I watched that, and I watched the first episode or first movie of Digimon Adventure Tri Reunion, which was really good. There again, it's the first in 6 parts of films. And it's good. We'll talk about that later.
Yes.
But that is all I've been watching.
All right. What do we got in the news?
News, quite a bit. So, be like, if you caught earlier what we were talking about, there, Netflix, not Netflix. I wish it was on Netflix, but no. DreamWorks just dropped their first trailer and their poster for their new upcoming movie, The Bad Guys. Apparently, it's a bunch of anthropomorphic characters who are thieves, and they have to somehow they've turned their life around to be good guys, and these guys are apparently career criminals. So it should be interesting. So yeah, this will be coming out, I believe, in April 2020 of 2020. All right, so that will be coming out, and then this was interesting. The Golden Globes of 2022 has been canceled from CBS, from NBC,
Because they're a bunch of pansies. Because let's face it, everything's fine now.
that is true.
I'm sorry, I may have opinions.
We all have opinions,
I'm not saying that they shouldn't be careful,
right?
but every other award show has gone ahead and done it. The Golden Globes need to just do it and take the same precautions everybody else is taking.
I don't think it's that though, but
I don't know. I've heard it's related to Omicron. I don't know if that's for sure, though.
What I understand, it's from different, but there again, this is not. We don't go into politics in this show.
We don't.
So it's something else. So if you want to learn more about that, go look at it yourself. We're just not going to discuss it here.
Indeed.
So apparently, it's been cut from the schedule, but they have released the Hollywood Foreign Press has released the nominations for the Best Motion Picture Animation nominees, which would include.
Hang on. The Golden Globes were postponed.
Yes.
But they still went ahead and announced who the nominees are.
Yes.
This makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. Yeah. Apparently, it's not going to be hosted by NBC, but they're still going to do it.
That makes sense. They're just not broadcasting.
They're not
That's
broadcasting.
a different story.
They're not broadcasting for other reasons.
Well, then just put it on YouTube. Do like the Game Awards does. They don't even bother putting it on television.
Yeah.
Just put it on streaming. That's where people watch anyway.
That is true.
YouTube, I bet, will pay you big bucks.
Oh, yeah. Big bucks.
For the rights to broadcast that.
Indeed. All right, so.
Like they listen to our rinky dink little show.
You never know. You never know.
You have a point.
You never know who's actually listening to us.
True.
All right.
There are people in California listening to us according to the stats.
Yeah, which is thank you.
I don't know who they are.
Thank you, State of California.
We don't know who you are.
Exactly, but thank you.
We love you just the same.
Exactly. All right, so Best Motion Picture. Now, just a guess, who do you think's on that list?
For Best Motion Picture?
Yeah, from 2021.
2021.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I know what movie I want to be there, but I bet it's not there because I think News of the World deserves more than it's gotten.
No, animated movies.
Animated.
Animated movie.
Animated?
Yeah, regarding our show.
Well, that makes a lot more sense.
I should have mentioned that beforehand. It's animated best movie.
So we got Raya and the Last Dragon. There's a possibility.
Yes.
I guess Soul is still technically because it was January. Was Soul January?
No.
Well, Luca then.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely Luca. I don't think any of the DreamWorks animated stuff came out this year. That was planned. Who else?
I'll give you a hint. It just recently came out.
Ron's Gone Wrong. Encanto.
Third Time's Charm.
I knew it had to. I just hadn't got to Encanto yet. We still need to watch this.
Yeah, Encanto. Like, due to restraints of the Christmas season, we won't be able to do it this season.
Not unless we cram it in somewhere. And
yeah.
We try to make Christmas as stress-free for ourselves.
Exactly, because it's already stressful enough.
Yes.
All right, so Enchanto, Flea from Neon, Luca from Pixar, Sunny Mad by Tomid Films, and last but not least, Raya and the Last Dragon. Now, who would you?
I guess the Miyazaki film didn't come out this year, so that makes sense.
I don't think it did. So who would you think of those movies you've watched so far?
Well, of those, I've seen Raya and Luca, and those are the only ones I've actually seen, I believe.
Yeah. So what out of those two?
So you're asking me to pick between what was essentially a martial arts film and an Italian film about mermen.
Yeah.
I'm going with the dragons, dude.
Oh, of course, of course. Yeah,
Raya and the Last Dragon was a super fun movie.
It was.
And it really
so
is
good.
like right in my wheelhouse.
Mm-hmm.
Might be why it's going to be on the upcoming list. More than likely.
All right. So yeah, those are the nominations. All right. So obviously a big trailer dropped during the Game Awards.
Indeed.
And I'm not surprised I did not hear a scream coming over from this apartment. I'm just kidding.
I know. I even told you might hear a squee. A
Yeah.
very loud squee from across the parking lot. But I did not squeak that loud.
No wonder light bulbs popped.
Right. It wasn't that I did not like what I saw because, let's face it, we do have the real Tails voicing Tails.
Really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's still Colleen O'Shaughnessy
Really?
voicing Tails. We've got Idris Elba. For certain. I have heard his voice as Knuckles.
Mm-hmm.
We have the Master Emerald on screen in this trailer.
Yeah, and just to note,
sorry, go ahead.
Good. Just to note, when Drew was making his prediction what this movie was about, he was right on the money.
Yes, because for those of you who don't remember, I said, look, we know Knuckles is probably in this movie. More than likely, what we're going to have happen is that the Chaos Emeralds are going to show up. We're going to have the Master Emerald. Dr. Robotnik, because thankfully they're still calling him Robotnik in this, will have stolen the Master Emerald, and Knuckles is going to be tricked into helping him because, for whatever reason, I don't know the reason in this one. But here's the other cool thing. So along with seeing the Master Emerald, we actually, that temple we get to see, that is the temple from Sonic Adventure 1, Angel Island, where the Master Emerald was housed, which had the 6 Chaos Emeralds surrounding it.
Really?
Which means technically Chaos is up there somewhere.
Really?
I doubt we're getting Chaos in this movie. Dr. Robotnik is enough of a villain for this, especially Jim Carrey's Dr. Robotnik. He can hold this. I don't want him pulling it. Already having Knuckles we're essentially getting a combo of Sonic the Hedgehog 2 and Sonic the Hedgehog 3 in this, in terms of the Genesis games.
Yeah.
And that's enough.
Yeah, agreed.
Because I don't know this for certain. And if I were these people, I would never show this in a trailer, ever, till you get to Sonic the Hedgehog 3, because by that point this will have already happened. But I bet you anything.
Yeah.
Climax of that movie, Sonic will have to draw on the power of the 7 Chaos Emeralds and turn into Super Sonic.
He'll go gold.
He will go Super Saiyan. You
Or
laugh.
Super
That's
Sonic.
what it's based on.
Yeah.
That's what Super Sonic is based on. Is based off the Super Saiyan.
I gathered as much.
That's because what happened was in Sonic the Hedgehog 2, because of how popular, they decided to pull a bit of pop culture into the game. One thing from Japan and one thing from America. Japan brought in the Super Saiyan from Dragon Ball Z, and the Death Egg we got from Star Wars.
Oh, okay.
Except with 2 laser dishes instead of one. You gotta have and of course a big giant mustache across the thing because it's Robotnik.
Of course. All right. So with all of that said, yes, we are getting a Sonic 2, which looks amazing. Go check it out. We put it in the
Looking forward to it. We got the freaking tornado. That's awesome. Sorry.
Can you tell he's a fan?
I wasn't expecting the tornado. Okay, moving on.
I'm not sure what the tornado is, but
The biplane.
Oh, the biplane. Okay.
That is the tornado.
Oh, that's what the tornado is. There again, I'm the only Sonic the Hedgehog I know is from the cartoons. That's it.
I'm just saying, perhaps Sonic Saturdays may be returning. That's all I'm saying.
Okay. Gotcha. All right. So getting back into the news. All right. So Sonic the Hedgehog 2 arrives in theaters April 8th, 2022. So
expect a reaction if nobody else than me.
Yeah, we same here, of course.
Oh, you're definitely invited, but I mean, if you happen to be busy that weekend,
I will.
I can record single episode reactions.
Yes, you can, but I'm going to watch that movie with you. Let's just say that.
Okay.
All right. So
let's face it, sitting along with a fan is either the best idea you can have or the very worst idea you can have, depending on how the movie is handled.
That is true. It's like, Drew, calm down.
But they ruined Knuckles. How does Idris Elba ruin Knuckles? Sorry.
Oh my gosh. Got a cold?
No, thank the Lord. I do not. Not anymore.
All right. So going into a
I just
little
have
more
too
news.
much adrenaline running through my system.
That's true. All right. So NBC Universal today, this was posted December 9th, announced that a new theater window model will be streamed most titles from the Universal Entertainment Group, or UFEG, exclusively on Peacock as early as 45 days after the theatrical release, or PVOD release. These will include movies slated for 2022. Includes, as we stated before, The Bad Guys, Puss in Boots, The Last Wish, Illumination's Minions: The Rise of Gru, and a untitled Mario film. And that is all.
I forgot that was Universal that was doing Mario.
Yeah, Universal's doing it.
Okay, I knew it was Illumination, but I forgot Illumination is technically Universal. But anyway.
Yeah, so that's all the animated movies. So if you are one of those people who are more not inclined,
next year we're getting both a Sonic the Hedgehog movie and a Super Mario Brothers movie.
Yep.
Man, that's a good year to be a gamer.
Yeah, agreed.
Assuming they don't mess it up.
Indeed.
Either film.
So either way, be like, if there again, I love going to the theater. I'm going to go to the theater if they're open or not. If they're open, and which hopefully
they kind of have to be open.
They kind of have to be open. But if you are not inclined to go to theaters, maybe because of the COVID-19 pandemic, whatever reason, it'll be available on Peacock 45 days after. So
not quite as nice as Warner Brothers' was this year, though that's going away.
What was that anyway?
Warner Brothers was doing it day and date.
That is true. It was
on every film, and that is going away this coming year.
Probably not a good.
I have a feeling the theater owners kind of did not like this idea.
Probably not.
And from what I understand, because of how many people took advantage of it, it may not have been very helpful. All things considered.
I gotcha.
Even though Godzilla vs. Kong still was the first big movie of the COVID season.
That is true.
Anyways,
so in our final bit of news, G-Kids has announced the English voice cast for the upcoming Oscar-nominated film director Manuel. I'm going to butcher his name. And I'm going to let my pal read the name off.
Hang on, I need to find it. Mamoru Hosoda?
Yes.
As in the guy who made Digimon?
Yeah, pretty much. There again, I'm terrible at names.
In all fairness.
Yes.
In all fairness.
Agreed.
It is a Japanese name.
It's
and
a Japanese name.
I am well practiced at Japanese names.
Yeah, and I am not.
For some reason.
For some reason. All right, so, and his latest feature, Belle. And if you haven't seen the news trailer, I'm going to put it up fairly shortly after we're done broadcasting this. And go check it out. It looks really good. Incredible. So let me get to where I was. The roster can be heard in the newest trailer. Belle opens theaters and on IMAX screens, both in its original Japanese and all new English dub version, on January 14th, 2022, with exclusive IMAX premieres. Exclusive markets beginning on July 12th, 2022. Tickets are available starting now at bellfilm.com. And after watching this trailer, I want to go see this in movies. See who watched it in the theaters. Maybe get a reaction for it.
Well, considering we've already reviewed 3 of his movies?
Yeah, we have.
All within the first year, and neither one of us realizing we were doing it?
Pretty much.
For future reference, that would be The Girl Who Leapt Through Time, a.k.a. Go Upstairs and Look at the Stupid Picture. Digimon the movie.
Yes.
What you talking about, Willis? And 3, Summer Wars. Koi Koi!
Yes.
I do not have those memorized. I just happen to remember those 3.
They were very good.
They're funny titles.
They're funny titles. Exactly. All right. So, yes, that is all we have for the bit of news. And thank you, Josh.
Yes. Which brings us to the spoiler-free section good night. Can you have the spoilers really matter on this one? It's a classic.
Indeed.
But so we're going to go spoiler free. If you've somehow not seen How the Grinch Stole Christmas, any of the 3 versions of the movie, even though we're going to be focusing on the 66 version, go watch it. It's only 30 minutes. Anywho, I can't tell you how many times I've watched this particular short. Because let's face it, it's on every year.
Indeed.
Sometimes I've turned it on, not even realized it was coming on, and just left it there. Usually sometime around the that one spectacular shot of the Grinch where his smile goes up and his little hair pieces curl back out. You know the one I'm talking about?
Yes.
That's usually about the time I somehow usually find it if I'm watching live. But this is a classic film. If this was Retro Rewind, this would definitely be rated a classic. Prediction and actual final rating. Put it up there on the on the website. Boom, it's done. This is just a great film. This is probably the first time I've looked at it with a critical eye, and I'm very glad I did because there's a lot of interesting things in this. I'm looking forward to talking about it here in a minute. But if somehow, some way, you've not seen this thing, go watch it. It should be mandatory viewing at this point.
Indeed.
But you should go watch it, and you should let your kids watch it so they can actually see a good How the Grinch Stole Christmas.
Indeed.
Because I have opinions on the other 2 movies, which we're not touching on this year.
No.
But
maybe another year.
Maybe another year. But also, this is just a Christmas classic.
Indeed.
I actually think it's more of a classic than Charlie Brown Christmas.
Wow, that's saying something.
I honestly believe that because this is one I just have pure nostalgia for. And looking at it with a critical eye this time around, I was even more blown away. So, Jacob, what are your thoughts?
All right, so my spoiler thoughts.
Yes, your spoiler-free thoughts.
Spoiler-free thoughts. There again, this is my first. Oddly enough, I've watched clips of this throughout the years. Never watched it in its entirety. Never have. Like after watching this, I'm like, oh my gosh, I've never seen the entire thing.
That's a surprise.
I've seen little bits at the beginning, a little in the middle.
Well, I say it's
and the end.
I say it's a surprise.
Yeah.
Not as a dig towards you in this manner. Not this time.
Of course.
But I mean, this is very Looney Tunes-esque.
Yeah.
And
of course, director.
And I know you like Looney Tunes, but they're not something you really focused on growing up, right?
Exactly.
Which is, I can see it.
See that. There again, I know some people might say it. Oh my gosh, Jacob doesn't like Looney Tunes. I love
I didn't say
Looney Tunes.
He didn't like Looney Tunes. I just said it wasn't a focus.
I know. I wanted to make the focus that be like, I enjoy Looney Tunes. It was
what kid doesn't?
Exactly. So able to watch this for the first time in its full was absolutely just breathtaking. This is like animation that I wish they still had now.
Oh yeah.
And they didn't do, I don't know what.
This is good animation.
It's so good animation. It's like they don't reuse anything. Like it's
that's not true.
That is, you're right.
We'll get to that. We'll get to that.
We'll get to that. But I could say of other shows that reuse animation. Hey man. Indeed. All right, so yeah, I've oh my gosh, watching this for the first time, and just like mind blowing, absolutely incredible. There again, growing up, I watched little bits here and there, and watching it as a full is incredible. It's definitely go watch it. Definitely go watch. It's a masterpiece of animation that should be enjoyed by all, and I think most people have watched it, and not to be confused with the Jim Carrey version that came out in the late 90s or 2000s.
I think it was like 2000.
Yeah, 2000.
Because that came up when I was looking through trivia.
That's right, yeah.
So I think that was 2000, and then of course the new Grinch that Illumination did was 2018?
2018, 2019?
2019,
yeah, one of those, because I remember going and watching it.
I watched it too.
Yeah.
More on that later.
Exactly. But I thoroughly enjoyed it. Would I recommend it? Highly recommend it. If it's going to watch it on Peacock,
That's where you said it was.
Yeah, it's if you watch
Peacock is at least free.
Yeah, Peacock is free. And or go pick it up, for your own collection. If you're an animation fan, go pick it up. It's really good.
It is at Walmart.
Yeah, it is at Wally, so you can go check it out and buy it for your own if on Blu-ray or DVD. So yeah, would I recommend it highly.
Mm-hmm.
Like families should sit down to watch this film because it's just so good. All right, so yeah, that's my spoiler-rific.
All right,
idea.
Spoiler free. Mm-hmm. So join us on the other side of the bumpers, and we will get to spoiling this thing. Don't forget that you can download. Don't forget that you can. Don't forget that you can listen to us record the podcast live every Tuesday over on our Facebook page, The Cellcast, our Twitch channel, The Cellcast Gaming, and on YouTube at Cellcast. Also, don't forget to join our Patreon if you would like to support us monetarily. At $1, you'll get our everlasting thanks. At our $5 tier, you can get some artwork from Jacob. And at our $10 tier, you can get bloopers for every episode we've released that I've remembered to release them for. And you can get commentaries from different movies. So come check us out over there if you would like to support us financially. This podcast is part of the Culture Box Media Network. For more great content like this, please check out the link in the description. There you can find other great shows, such as The Untold Podcast, which is a speculative fiction podcast utilizing the genres of sci-fi, fantasy, and horror, among others, in order to engage the culture's imagination from a Christian worldview. Every month, Nathan James Norman produces and narrates a new story presented in a unique and dynamic way. You can check out their podcast at untoldpodcast.com. Also, we are a part of Pop Americana, where you can enjoy other shows like Franchise Fatigue. Do you like movies? Of course you do. I bet you even like big movie franchises like Star Wars, the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and Indiana Jones. And obviously, since you listen to us, you must like listening to movie reviews. But what if I were to tell you there is a podcast that reviews film series one movie at a time? You'd like that? Well, then go check out the Franchise Fatigue podcast over on your favorite podcast catcher and listen to James and Gabe give an in-depth analysis and review on every movie in your favorite franchise. The following is a spoiler-filled review for 1966's Dr. Seuss's How the Grinch Stole Christmas. If you've not seen the movie, we suggest you turn us off right now and come back when you've seen it. How's that for last minute?
Bravo.
1966's Dr. Seuss's How the Grinch Stole Christmas was directed by Chuck Jones, known for directing absolutely tons of Looney Tunes and Tom and Jerry shorts.
Absolutely.
It was also directed by Ben Washam, who directed Horton Hears a Who, that original TV short.
Oh, okay.
Not TV short. I think it was a TV short. It was also written by Irv Spector, who was in the animation department for Charlotte's Web, and Bob Ogle, who wrote Archie's Funhouse, based on the Archie comics characters.
Really?
The original story was by Theodore Geisel, which is the actual name of Dr. Seuss.
Yes.
The cast includes Boris Karloff as both the narrator and the Grinch, but he is perhaps most famous otherwise for playing Dr. Frankenstein's monster in the old Universal Frankenstein movies.
Did not know that.
June Foray was the voice of Cindy Lou Who, and in DuckTales the movie, The Treasure of the Lost Lamp, and DuckTales the original television show,
Woo!
She played Mrs. Featherby.
Oh. I wish I could do that voice. It'd be really cool. Oh, dear.
Anyway, Dal McKinnon was the voice of Max, and he is the voice of Gumby in Gumby.
Really?
Yeah. Last but not least, Thurl Ravenscroft was the singer of You're a Mean One, Mr. Grinch, and as we said earlier, he was Tony the Tiger until his death in 2005.
Wow.
He is the longest running commercial mascot in the world at this point.
Wow.
Or voice of a commercial mascot.
Yes.
Kingdom Hearts connections. Take a wild guess. Absolutely nothing.
I was expecting one thing, maybe like a line or something like that.
I was the thing. I knew Boris Karloff would have died long before this.
Yeah.
Cindy Lou and June Foray had a chance.
Yeah.
So she was playing the youngest character. I thought maybe there would be someone in the animation department that may have still been working and happened to work on it. I thought maybe the writer, some musical artist or performer on You're a Mean One, Mr. Grinch, or Fahu Nore, whatever the name of that song is that Who Sing. I thought, or just any of the background music. I thought they might have a connection there. Absolutely, positively no connection whatsoever to to Kingdom Hearts 1, Kingdom Hearts Chamber of Secrets. That's not the name of that.
Is Harry Potter in this?
No. Kingdom Hearts Chain of Memories, Kingdom Hearts 2, Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep, Kingdom Hearts Coded, Kingdom Hearts 358 over 2 days, Kingdom Hearts 3, I think I skipped one, Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep 0.2, A Fragmentary Passage, or Kingdom Hearts 3, or Kingdom Hearts Melody Memories, or Super Smash Brothers Ultimate. I checked everything.
Wow.
There is absolutely, positively nothing. And also not Dream Drop Distance. That's the one I skipped.
Or there is a lot in this.
Or Key.
Or Key.
Key. That's the Latin letter key.
Oh.
Is an X.
Gotcha.
So yeah, absolutely, positively. No Kingdom Hearts connections. What do we got in info and stuff?
All right, so info and stuff. You're able to watch it in Peacock if you're subscribed to Peacock. On IMDb, it has an 8.4 out of 10. Production was by Catnap Productions, MGM Studios, and Animation/Visual Arts. It was distributed originally by MGM Television. The release date was November. I made a slight error earlier. It was December 16th, 1966. That was the 6th.
We are 2 days away from the anniversary.
Exactly.
I don't know which anniversary. Which
you're 66. You're looking at
76, 86, 96, 06, 16, 55 year anniversary.
Yeah, roughly 55 years.
That's amazing.
That's incredible.
We did not plan that, by the way.
No, we didn't at all. So yeah, we will probably bring news when that comes up down the line. So
in 2 days.
In 2 days. Thursday. Yeah, it'll definitely put on the feed. So it had. I saw this and I was blown away by this. Mm-hmm. It had an estimated budget of $355,000. A budget in 1966 for a television special.
Uh-huh.
What was it? Charlie Brown's
Christmas.
It
didn't have that much.
Yeah, huh?
It didn't have that much.
Yeah.
I don't remember how much it had, but it didn't have that much.
Right. But you know the level of animation in this film with a small budget, incredible. All right, moving on. Network, which originally aired on, was CBS. Let's go into its broadcast. The hour and a half with commercials short was originally televised in the United States on CBS, like we said before, on December 18th, 1966. CBS repeated it annually during the Christmas season until 1987, where it was seen multiple times per year on Turner, as in Turner Classic Movies.
Mm-hmm. And if I remember correctly, also Cartoon Network.
Yes. First TNT, then TBS, and then Cartoon Network. The WB at the time, now CW, returned it to broadcast television by adding its own annual screening in 2020 and 2001. TBS and TNT both still air the special now annually during the holiday season, twice a year, now along with NBC too as well. ABC took up a special after the WB, now CW, ceased operation in 2006. NBC acquired the rights in 2015. Its deal with Warner Brothers allows 2 broadcasts per season, currently scheduled for the first week of December and Christmas night. The Christmas night broadcast has been later following the air of the airing of the 2000 film the same name, which would be the Jim Carrey version. All right, home release. How the Grinch Stole Christmas was originally released on VHS, Betamax, SED, which, can you remind me?
SCD or CED?
CED, sorry.
That is a capacitance electronic disc, a failed format that came out right after Laserdisc, and it failed because Laserdisc existed.
Oh, okay.
And was much more popular.
I gotcha.
Which was not much because Laserdisc wasn't that popular.
Gotcha. Kind of like the when Blu-ray came out, you had HD DVD.
Okay, so if you're interested in the capacitance electronic disc, I'm going to suggest looking up Technology Connections channel.
Oh.
He did a very thorough history of RCA's capacitance electronic disc. That goes much deeper, but basically they had this idea long before anybody else did for home video, but they had so much trouble with the technology and so much other infrastructure issues at RCA that it actually came out it was kind of a too little too late situation when it finally did come out.
Gotcha.
And so it just never took hold.
I gotcha. All right. Also on Laserdisc by MGM UA Home Video in the 1980s and reissued several times. The special was released on VHS and DVD in format of 1999 and 2000 by Warner Home Video, which acquired the rights from MGM Library in the late 1990s via the purchase of Turner Entertainment. MGM had earlier released it on DVD in 1997. The 1997 release features different specials like Horton Here's a Who, while in the 2000 DVD it has commentators as interviews, the special edition documentary, which was shown during the TNT broadcast in 1994. The DVD is well received. Three bonus things. It has a sub per, but critics have criticized that DVD for its sub per picture quality. Subpar. Thank you. Sometimes I can't read very well. Yeah. Apparently in that DVD transfer, apparently the Grinch was yellow, not green.
That's a bad transfer.
That's a very bad
color that far off.
Yeah. All right. So,
of course, the Grouch was originally orange.
Really?
Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah. All right. The special was re-released on DVD in 2006 and labeled the 50th Birthday Deluxe Edition. Let's see. It talks about the special. Blah blah blah. It's been re-released numerous times on DVD with various forms of commentary. They've gone back and remastered. I know that. Let me get to that. In the 2000 DVD was it's a special edition. So yeah, it's been continually been re-released. I know the version we watched it's almost like it's a remaster.
It's the Warner Brothers DVD, which they had to at least done a new transfer and then maybe a little cleanup.
Yeah, it looks like there's a ton of cleanup on it.
Yeah, it's not bad. They didn't over-clean it, which is always the worry with this sort of thing.
Indeed.
We don't have the Cinderella issues.
No. Oh, good night. Good night. If you've ever seen that.
They cleaned it up so badly, they lost details in the dress.
Yeah, pretty much everything was blue.
Yeah.
Everything was supposed to be like a light blue.
And believe it or not, that is supposed to be a white dress.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyways. Very, very light blue. But
yeah, it's a light blue. But either way, so yeah, it has been if you can watch it on television for the last 50 something years, they've released it on Blu-ray, DVD. I think it's on, I don't know if it's on Blu-ray yet or not. It should be.
It wasn't at Walmart. Probably because the DVDs sell so well, because it's technically considered a kids product, and they usually put them on DVD, because why spend good quality on kids products? I don't know. I suspect it would be on Blu-ray.
Yeah, one would think. So yes, and be like, yeah, it is very numerous on DVD and possibly on Blu-ray.
I'm just looking right quick. Yes, it's on Blu-ray.
It's on Blu-ray.
It's $8.99 currently on Amazon.
Yeah, so if you want to go get it on Blu-ray, go check it out. All right, so it did have a sequel, but it's technically
there are two other Grinch specials.
Yes.
There is Halloween is Grinch Night, which is apparently a very strange thing, but it was done by Friz Freling's company.
Really?
Animation company, yeah. And they also did, and Friz Freeling also did The Grinch's The Cat in the Hat. Both of which are on that DVD, but I did not watch those other two. Maybe someday on another episode of the Cellcast.
Yeah. So, yeah, that is basically the history of Dr. Seuss, How the Grinch Stole Christmas.
All right.
1966.
Getting into the summary for this. The Grinch is a surly, antisocial, green creature with a heart 2 sizes too small, who lives alone in a cave atop Mount Crumpet, located above the village of Whoville. He especially hates Christmas and has always been annoyed by the town's Christmas celebrations. One Christmas Eve, he finally decides to stop Christmas Day from coming to Whoville by disguising himself as Santa Claus. His dog Max is a reindeer, and in a reversal of Santa's visits, steal all the gifts, decorations, and symbols of Christmas. Once loaded, he plans on dumping the bags of stolen goods. His plan is nearly thwarted by a toddler named Cindy Lou Who, but is otherwise undetected. As the Grinch reaches the summit of Mount Crumpet, ready to dump the bags, he discovers the citizens of Whoville, despite having no gifts or decorations, have gathered in the middle of town to sing as Christmas Day dawns, realizing that Christmas means more than just material possessions. The Grinch's heart grows 3 sizes. He saves the sleigh, returns the presents and the other belongings to the Whos, and joins the town's Christmas celebration by carving the roast beast. Much shorter summary than normal this week.
It is a short after all.
Oh, yeah. Thurl Ravenscroft, who sang the song, You're a Mean One, Mr. Grinch, is best known as the voice of Tony the Tiger in numerous Frosted Flakes TV commercials. Thurl was picked to sing these songs because his voice was an extremely deep bass. Boris Karloff's voice changes when he speaks for the Grinch. Originally, he spoke in his narrator voice throughout. After recording was complete, the highs in his voice were mechanically removed for the Grinch, giving him the gravelly voice heard in the finished version. The lyrics to the song Fahu Fores were made to imitate classical Latin. After the special aired, the studio received letters asking for a translation from people who believed them to be real Latin.
Okay.
They are just gibberish, people.
Pretty much.
So you know.
Just a bit.
Dr. Seuss disputed casting Boris Karloff for fear that he would make the Grinch too scary.
That makes sense. He did play the Mummy.
Not the Mummy. Actually, he did play the Mummy too.
He did play the Mummy.
But he also he's mainly known for Frankenstein, which is a very scary monster. Dr. Seuss was initially uninterested in animating this or any of his books, but Chuck Jones managed to persuade him.
Yeah. Freaking Chuck Jones.
It's Chuck Jones's fault that we got some of this later on stuff. I'm just saying, because otherwise it probably would have been put in the rights that the stuff would never be animated.
True.
Through all the production and though all of the production and character designs were based upon original artwork from the book, Dr. Seuss thought the Grinch more closely resembled Chuck Jones rather than the original Grinch drawings.
That's funny.
Thurl Ravenscroft received no screen credit for his singing, an oversight Dr. Seuss attempted to rectify by sending letters to every major columnist in America identifying Ravenscroft as the singer on You're a Mean One, Mr. Grinch. He is also part of the chorus on the other 2 songs.
Really?
Much like the Coca-Cola sponsor plugs from A Charlie Brown Christmas, 1965.
Again?
The original broadcast of How the Grinch Stole Christmas was sponsored by the Foundation for Full Service Banks and featured plugs for them at the beginning and end of the special. These have since been edited out of subsequent airings and are quite difficult to find. However, they recently resurfaced in 2021 via YouTube and the Lost Media Wiki.
Interesting.
Dr. Seuss wrote the lyrics for all the songs.
That makes sense.
Chuck Jones, a lifelong lover of Rudyard Kipling, was inspired to cast Boris Karloff as the Grinch after hearing a recording of Karloff reading Kipling's Jungle Book stories. Coincidentally, Benedict Cumberbatch, who did the voice of the Grinch in Dr. Seuss's The Grinch 2018, also did the voice of the tiger Shere Khan in Mowgli, Legend of the Jungle 2018.
Ironic.
The Grinch's... Okay, let me ask you a question. What color is the Grinch?
Kind of a light green.
Okay. Has he always been green?
I think different shades of green, but green.
What if I were to tell you in the book he is not green?
Okay, what color is he?
He is pretty much paper color because all you ever see is an outline of him.
I gotcha.
That's because the Grinch's green color was decided by director Chuck Jones. Chuck Jones's experiences renting cars in the Washington-Baltimore area, which he claimed always turned out to be the exact shade.
Well, it was the 60s after all.
But if you ever wondered why the Grinch is green, it's because of used cars.
Wow.
I find that funny.
That is hilarious.
But it wasn't green before this short either. That's
Really?
the main thing.
Wow.
Through most of the short, the Grinch's eye color is red, indicating his bitter, misanthropic, and sneaky personality. But when he discovers the true meaning of Christmas by the sight of the still happy rejoicing Who's in the deprived town of Whoville towards the ending, his eyes turn blue, meaning that he has a change of heart.
That is true.
Makes sense. The eyes are the windows to the soul.
Soul. Very true.
Which brings me to the end of the trivia. What is your first like?
Oh my
Jacob?
gosh. My first, the animation. Straight up classic. There again, first time watching this in its full entirety, I'm sitting there slack-jawed. It's like, seriously? Like, the amount of animation, the backgrounds, the fluidity of characters where you can in a small budget like this is just phenomenal. Oh my gosh. There again, I wish they did animation like this nowadays, but nowadays everything's CG and it's just a lot of money to do that. But
well, I mean, even the 2D stuff is all vector animation, which takes out the fluidity of this old stuff.
that is true. That is so true. And it's just the arcing back to classic animation that be like it was on twos or threes.
This I think was twos. It's not on ones. It's not smooth enough for ones.
Yeah.
But this was still a very expensive production, so it's probably on. It would make sense for it to be on twos since it was being broadcast on interlaced television.
Yes.
Which you pretty much had only every other frame to work with anyway. So
yeah.
It would make sense for it to
be on twos.
Animated on twos.
Yeah. So you're looking at something that is absolutely incredible. Definitely when you look at the more modern DVD releases where it looks like Warner Brothers have gone in and remastered it and touched up a few things. And it just looks amazing. Because I remember as a kid watching some of this on television, and it looked all janky and grainy and everything like that. There again, it was created in the 60s with a low budget. But
well, and I'm sure that there was not any from what you were talking about. Turner never did a good job. Never invested the money to actually
they didn't.
Go in and redo everything, or not redo, but re-edit everything. They were probably working off an old VHS master,
probably
that had been re-recorded over and over again, and you always lose data that way. They went back to the original film elements. They would have had to get this nice a transfer.
Exactly.
Thank goodness someone kept up with it.
Exactly. So if you want to look at a superior version of this film, go pick up the more recent version you can find in Best Buy or Walmart or whatever. Buy it on Blu-ray. It's probably even a better transfer.
And if you're listening to this after Christmas, because I know we're only about 2 weeks away, I'm sure you can still find it on Amazon. It just might be a little harder to get a hold of.
Yeah.
Or worst case scenario, wait till next Christmas.
Yeah.
October probably.
Probably.
There is a reason Nightmare Before Christmas exists. It's because they put out stuff in October for Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway.
Anyways, so yeah,
I'm
this
just
is
bringing up all the random trivia tonight.
yes, you are. You're just bringing it. You're bringing it like a champ. So yes, the animation is just spectacular to kind of go into another film coming up, but it's incredible, and it's mind blowing. It's mind blowing the amount of detail you get in this film for what it is. That is my number one. Just animation. Mwah.
My first like for this. Mm-hmm. Every single one of the Grinch's mischievous grins.
Oh, yeah.
Because here's the thing. Mm-hmm. I don't think he went back and reused any of his Chuck Jones's. I don't think Chuck Jones went back and reused any of the animation. I think all of this was not. All of this was not taken. None of this was taken from an old production.
Right.
But I swear he must have looked at every single mischievous grin he ever put on Bugs Bunny, Tom the Cat, Jerry the Mouse, and any other character he ever did, and then made about 10 more.
Yeah.
The Grinch. Because there's times when you're looking at this and you're going, I've seen that before, but I don't care. Because every single mischievous grin the Grinch puts out is like, ooh, this feels naughty and evil, and I kind of like it because, let's face it, we're all naughty and evil.
That is true.
Total depravity of man and all that stuff.
Exactly.
It's one of those things where you kind of... Because the thing is, the Grinch is the bad guy.
Yeah.
But he's also the protagonist.
Very true.
And you are rooting for his... not for him necessarily to succeed at stealing Christmas.
Right.
But for his redemption, which is going to come when he realizes the true meaning of Christmas.
That is true.
Apparently he forgets he's supposed to be nice to the Who's by the sequels, but hey, we'll move on from that.
Yeah, exactly.
But maybe he just turns nice every December now.
Yeah, apparently. He turns over a leaf.
After he scares the willy-nillys out of the Who's during Halloween. But, I forget where I was going. But you kind of are, you kind of, strangely enough, you kind of understand what it is about the Grinch and why he feels this way about Christmas. Because I think we all know, every single one of us, down to the youngest child, it's not Christmas that the Grinch hates. Yeah. It's not even what the movie says he hates. Mm-hmm. He hates the Who's celebrating Christmas and being noisy and rude to him. That's why he's out on Mount Crumpet, away from all of them, for the most part. He hates other people. The Grinch is an introvert.
Yeah, pretty much.
Aren't both of us introverts?
Kind of.
Except we're both kind of also like being around other people.
Yeah.
But I can, to some degree, I can feel what the Grinch is going through. And to some degree, having worked 8 Christmases at a Walmart.
Right.
Sorry, Voldemort, the store that shall not be named. I understand the Grinch's feelings all too well. I've been there. I've told the story of how one of my favorite Christmas memories working at the store was getting gas one Christmas Eve after the store was locked up and watching this group of people walk us at speed right into the door, not realizing it was closed. And I know they heard me laughing because it was too quiet in that parking lot to not hear every sound that was being made. And I was not quiet. I understand what the Grinch was feeling, is what I'm saying. And to some degree, I feel that mischievous grin right along with him. And I love how they all look throughout this. And I'll get more to Max here in a minute, but I love his I love his relationship with Max and how indeed that goes back and forth. But I'll get more on to Max in a minute. What is your second like? My second like, I did put one thing, but then I realized it's another. It would have to be Max. Have to be Max the dog. Max is just like, he is one of these extremely faithful dogs that even though his owner is the Grinch and he wants to do all these wicked things to the people of Whoville, that he's like, okay, he's begrudgingly doing it, but he's doing it because dogs are faithful and they are very loyal to their owner, so they do whatever their owner asks them to do.
And I find that very appealing that you find in certain moments where Max, he's conflicted by this, and he's like, but we're doing all this stuff because you don't like the Who's, but you're destroying everything because out of your bitterness. And you can feel that off the character, even though he doesn't really talk. He's a dog.
He makes noises.
Yeah, he makes noises.
It's nothing really loud. In fact, I was actually surprised when I was doing getting the cast list that there was a voice actor for him. Because I don't remember him saying anything, but he does make noises. So just not as loud as Muttley, which is generally the dog noise I think of.
Yeah. So yeah, it's just more Max. Be like he's the epitome of a good dog, good and faithful dog. That is just the kind of dog anybody wants, but at the same time, be like if he gives us more vibes of trying to persuade the Grinch not to do things through his reflection, through his facial expressions. And be like, obviously, the Grinch is having nothing of it because he wants revenge against the Who's, and it's really enjoyable to watch that kind of animation where you have just a small character like Max that is loyal, but at the same time he's conflicted. He's a very conflicted character, and I enjoy that about the character. So yeah, mine is Max. What is your number?
I'm jumping on top of yours with number 2, even though it means I do have to jump ahead a little, but. Max, the strongest dog in all the world, who's able to not only pull, as I said earlier at the beginning of the show, he's not only able to pull the sleigh down Mount Crumpet, load it full of bags full of stolen decorations and presents, including food, which thankfully it's cold outside, so it's not rotting. And then somehow he's able to by himself carry all that stuff plus the Grinch all 10,000 feet up Mount Crumpet.
That's one strong pooch.
That's not to the Grinch's house. That's to the top of Mount Crumpet.
Yes.
Even though he's light enough that those antlers weigh his head down.
Oh my gosh, that scene. It was so clever.
It's so clever, but it's like you don't get animation that fluid anymore. It would have just been a chunk, and you cut it off, and then you go woo, and you spring up and down. It's like I just love how he slowly goes down. The Grinch saws the things off, and he slowly tilts back up again. He comes back upright. It's like it's funnier this way.
Indeed.
It is funnier this way than if he just shot up and down like a spring.
Yeah.
But Max is, to me, like the greatest character. He is a loyal friend. Not just that he's a dog and he's loyal like dogs are.
Yeah.
I really get the feeling that Max is the Grinch's only friend.
I would agree with you on that. I would agree.
And he is loyal enough to the Grinch that he helps him throughout the entire plan. But at the same time, he is trying to lead him another way.
Yeah.
He still helps the Grinch load the whole thing up there, and he still gets abused by the Grinch a lot throughout the whole special.
Exactly.
But he does do things to try and say, maybe we should, maybe not.
Yeah, not do
all this.
Yeah.
But it ultimately fails because that's what the story requires, and it's because he's the Grinch, and you don't really talk back to Frankenstein's monster.
That is true. Or the mummy.
But still, one of my favorite parts of this. They're coming down the mountain. The sled is moving faster than Max is. It goes over. The Grinch looks over. He realizes Max is not there. He dips his head under and sees the rope going all the way under and coming up the other side. He looks up, and Max is just sitting there on his hind legs going, waving his paw. It's like, that is like the single funniest thing in the entire
Agreed.
Short.
And it was added. It was added because Chuck Jones.
Yeah, Chuck Jones.
Yeah, Chuck Jones added it from the original story.
But it's funny.
It's so good.
It's one of those visual gags that you don't even think about if you're not looking for
exactly
things to love about this film, because it just goes like, oh, that's a funny scene. I've seen that in Looney Tunes and Tom and Jerry all the time, but here it's done far better, I think, than it ever was done in that. And I'm just going to go ahead and say this right now. I consider this film, the short, an honorary Looney Tune.
Oh, okay.
Because it's very much in the feel of...
Indeed.
You could see...
Indeed.
It would not take much for for a Bugs Bunny to pop his head up at one point and say, I missed that. I should have took that left turn at Albuquerque. Instead, I ended up in Whoville during Christmas. It's cold over here.
Indeed.
What's that green guy doing? I want to see Doctor Who, Bugs Bunny versus the Grinch. I want to see this. It will never happen. I want to see it. Anyway. But yeah, Max is the strongest dog. I am amazed by how much he can pull, despite the fact a pair of antlers can weigh him down.
Wow.
And let's face it, the other best shot in this is at the end of the film, end of the short, where the Grinch is blowing his horn as he's coming down the mountain to redeliver all the presents, and Max is just sitting there with his tail wagging on the sled and bouncing up and down. It's like, who's steering the sled? You had a hard time getting down this the first time. How are you getting down it now? But Max is just there happy.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm not a dog person. We know this. I'm a cat guy.
Yeah.
But I just love Max throughout this. He's just so fun.
Indeed.
So yeah.
Indeed.
Max the super dog.
Max the super dog
is my second like. What's your third?
My third like would be the my third like is more like the Grinch's redemption and the Who's the idea of like gifts aren't the thing of what Christmas makes Christmas. And what made it reminded me of a song that I absolutely love. One of my favorite artists of all time. I know Drew disagrees with me on this artist.
I like one of his songs.
Yeah. Garth Brooks, What I'm Thankful For. It's off a more recent Christmas album. And it's an amazing song. He does do it with his wife and the amazing James Taylor. If you haven't heard it, go check it out. It's a great song. We can find it on Amazon Music. So the first line is like, "What I'm thankful for ain't on no list. For only in my heart exists. For the times I've helped me understand things I can't hold in my hand." And I just found it very poetic to this, the idea that the Grinch thought he could destroy Christmas, he could crush the spirit of the Whovians about
the Whovians.
I'm not talking about Doctor Who.
So what is this, Doctor Who?
apparently, but the Who's his whole intention is.
All of a sudden, the Daleks show up and they're decorating for Christmas, and they're going, "Decorate, decorate." Sorry.
Oh yeah, but it was the Grinch's full intention was to destroy Christmas and break the spirit of the Whovians by stealing everything of theirs. But it was the idea that a gift that someone gives you isn't really the heart of Christmas. The heart of Christmas is the intention behind it, and also the idea of the Grinch's redemption. Of his heart is no longer hardened, as we would go for a more theological idea that his heart has been broken by the cheer and goodwill of the Who's, and his heart is changed. His heart is renewed. He has been reborn in a way. If you go even further theologically, that his entire demeanor is like someone who has come to know Jesus Christ, their Lord and Savior. They're given a new heart. They are given a new spirit. The Holy Spirit has been injected into them. They are a new creation. So in that way, that the Grinch, his heart has been changed by the outpouring of the Who's gratefulness for the idea that they wake up in the morning and they can celebrate Christmas because it's about the celebration of having family around you.
Yeah.
And it's not really about the gifts underneath the tree, even though those are nice sometimes, but it's more you get up in the morning and you get to visit with family and have fun. And I like the idea that it's the Grinch heart is changed, like like I said before, with when we come to know Christ, that our heart is changed. We are created anew. We're a new creation in Christ. So it's that idea, and I found that really fascinating. So yeah, it's the the Whovians, not Whovians,
The Who's of Whoville.
yeah, Who's of Whoville. They're
Who?
yeah, exactly. But their joy, even without presents, and the Grinch's his turn of his heart, his heart is made new with the understanding that Christmas is not about the gift.
Mm-hmm.
So that is my number 3. What is yours?
I absolutely love the wordplay and probably the least Christmassy Christmas song ever written.
Okay.
Which is, of course, You're a Mean One, Mr.
The
Grinch.
Mm-hmm.
Let me go over a couple of lines in
Okay.
case you missed them.
Okay.
You're as cuddly as a cactus.
Ouch.
You're as charming as an eel.
Mm-hmm.
You're a bad banana with a greasy black peel.
Ugh.
Your heart's an empty hole. Your brain is full of spiders and you've got garlic in your soul. I wouldn't touch you with a 39.5 foot pole. You have all the tender sweetness of a seasick crocodile. Given the choice between the two of you, I'd take the seasick crocodile. Your heart is full of unwashed socks. Your soul is full of gunk. The 3 words that best describe you are as follows, and I quote, stink, stank, stunk. All of these are so clever in how they're saying, because what you're pretty much saying is the Grinch is the worst possible creature who ever exists. He's horrible. He's nasty. He's the worst creature imaginable. He's the worst thing to happen to the Who's of Whoville.
Mm-hmm.
And yet, through Christmas, through the Who's and their grace and then their forgiveness and through their just happiness of the
Exactly.
Of the season, which I'm going to say that my biggest problem with the other 2 Grinch movies is they ignore this part.
Mm-hmm.
That the Who's they're not perfect people, mind you.
Yeah.
But they're not going out there just because it's a tradition, like for that, like that they are in the Jim Carrey movie.
Yeah.
It's Christmas. They're going out there whether it's Christmas or not. It's part of their tradition.
Yeah.
Christmas came not because of anything the Grinch did to keep it from happening, anything the Grinch missed. It came because it was Christmas.
Exactly.
Now here's the thing. The Grinch, in my opinion, and I think most people can understand this, is the worst of humanity.
Yeah.
It is a picture of us as the completely depraved creatures that we can easily be.
Oh, yeah. Easy.
And I'm saying that at this point from a secular point of view. I'm about to go full Christian on you.
Okay.
Because
go for
it's
it.
Christmas.
Launch it.
We are all the Grinch at one point in our lives.
Oh, yeah. Easy.
In some ways, we are still the Grinch right now, even if you are a Christian.
Yeah.
But it's through the grace of Christmas, a.k.a. who Christmas is named after, a.k.a. Jesus Christ, that we're allowed to come to the table and even have the spot of honor to carve the roast beast.
Yeah. That's good. That's really deep.
What the Grinch did is the absolute worst thing he could have done to the Who's.
Yeah.
He came in. He broke into every single one of their houses. He did not just steal the stockings. He did not just steal the presents. He did not steal just the decorations. He did not just steal their Christmas trees. He didn't just steal the feast that they were planning for Christmas Day. He stole every ounce of food in the house, of every single house, to the point where a mouse could not even eat a crumb off the floor.
Yeah. That's pretty depraved.
That is depraved. That is and he's not doing it because he thinks this is the best thing for everybody. He's doing it for completely selfish reasons because how much he hates Christmas and how much he wants revenge, one supposes in this, against just the very act that these people down in Whoville are happy.
Yeah, exactly. He wants to destroy everything.
Right. The Who's have absolutely, positively no reason to forgive him.
Absolutely.
And they don't just forgive him. They let him sit at the head of the table and give him the place of honor.
Exactly.
How is that not a great picture of being saved and salvation?
Exactly.
And everything that Christmas stands for. They forgave the word. This would be like us forgiving Hitler.
Exactly.
This is the equivalent. I hope y'all realize that. Bear in mind, I think everything Hitler did was horrible. Don't take any of this the wrong way. But I also believe, well, we'll not get into that. They forgave the man who didn't just steal all the stuff from their houses, stole the sense of security that every single who had over Christmas, over silly decorations, over if he'd have just locked the door and watched television and not tried to do this crazy plan of his, would have been gone in a day. Because by the 26th, who cares?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's still going to be maybe some partying, but for the most part, the Grinch stays in his home on Mount Crumpet even after this. If he'd have just locked the door and just not tried to get involved, bear in mind, I'm talking about this short specifically. That's not the case in the other two. This short specifically, he just locked the door and not gone down the hill and not stared at all the decorations going up for Christmas. He would have been fine.
Yeah.
But he did the most horrible thing over what essentially was him being annoyed. He did the most horrible thing he could to these Who's, short of killing them all, which you can't do on can't do on television,
Right.
and doesn't exactly fit this story in the slightest.
Exactly.
But he goes in, he steals everything from them, even lies to the youngest child in town,
Intentionally.
pretends to be Santa Claus, and at the end of the day, they forgive him, and they give him the place of honor.
Yeah, that's
Almost like the prodigal son coming home.
Bam! There you go. Preach it, brother.
I get that this may not have been Dr. Seuss's idea for this story because, to my understanding, Dr. Seuss was not a Christian. I could be wrong. I didn't do my research on this part. Forgive me. But from my understanding, he was... My understanding is, I don't know if he was an atheist, but he was definitely agnostic. Is my understanding. If you could double check that.
Yeah.
Anyway. So I'm sure this was not his idea, but it's amazing how these Christian ideals tend to sink through, especially on the holiday that's meant to celebrate the birth of our Savior. Even though if you do your research, you know that Jesus wasn't born anywhere near December 25th. No matter how you calculate it on the calendars, he was probably born during the summer months. Anyway, or summer or late fall. I just find that part interesting. So yeah, that's my third like.
I gotcha. Yeah, let me look that up real fast.
Okay. From what I can tell, just by doing this quick look, he never commented on it publicly.
Yeah.
He had religious views, but there's no evidence he was a church goer.
Yeah.
Which is the closest I'm going to get to making a decision on this. So
Yeah.
I don't think he was an atheist. I'm just not sure how Christian he was.
Yeah.
That's how I'm going to stop. That's how I'm going to leave it there.
Yeah. Okay.
So Jacob, what's your first dislike?
My first dislike, and my only real dislike in this film, would be there again. It's a children's story. Now I understand the other films do kind of fill in this information a little bit, but understanding you're going from the source material, and definitely this is definitely from the source material itself. You have this. The whole, there's no real reason or rhyme except why the Grinch hates the Who so much. Be like, yeah, it's more, he doesn't like that they're loud and joyful and that kind of stuff. He's a Grinch about everything. But there's real
The grouchy Grinch.
And it'd be like, yeah, it's supposed to imply something, but there's not. Be like, to me, it's like, can we get a little bit more? And I understand in supplement material they've gone on with
but it's hard to know in some of that supplemental material how much of that was Dr. Seuss, especially with the Grinch movies.
Yeah, indeed. It's just more be like I wish they would have at least brought in a little bit more why the Grinch's motivation instead of he's a grumpy old man that doesn't like a really grumpy old man who just doesn't like happiness and joy, and for some reason he doesn't like the Who's, but just. The a little more information about that would have been great, but there again, that's a nitpick.
Yeah.
They do get into that more in
subsequent movies.
Thank you. And so yeah, that was a little, it's like, okay, could we have gone into that a little further in this film, but there again,
well, I mean, the only real defense I can have for why they don't go into it is because the book doesn't go into it.
Yeah, exactly.
And this is my understanding, an accurate adaptation of the book.
Exactly.
So and and it's only 30 minutes long. The reason you get more information in the other stuff is because they had to stretch it out to 2 hours.
Indeed.
And admittedly, there ain't 2 hours worth of story in this. So
No,
they do
there's
have to
not.
add stuff.
Yeah, they do.
Fair,
Agreed.
fair enough.
Agreed.
But that's the only defense I really have for it.
Yeah, agreed. There again, that was an extreme nitpick.
Yeah.
And if you want more story filled out like that, you can go watch the other films. But in this film, we don't get that because there again, they're sticking close to the material, the source material. So yeah, that's an extreme nitpick about this film. What's your first dislike?
The reused animation that we see in some of the "You're a Mean One, Mr. Grinch" scene montages as he's stealing all the Christmas presents.
Yeah.
Because there's about three shots that they reuse that they show twice.
Indeed, they do.
It kind of, admittedly, this is only a 30-minute short. I think the actual runtime is something closer to 22 minutes?
Something like that.
Let me look right quick. I can't go by this because it's including all 3 shorts in here.
Indeed.
It says 80 minutes. This is not 80 minutes long. But we'll say 20 minutes because that's about the thing. It's a 20-minute short, and so it is expensive as many of these other shots had to have been because they are at the Looney Tunes level, which was theatrical shorts, which was not expensive, but it was cheap for theater, and this is about at that level, and TV would have been even cheaper at this time. So I mean, you just look at some of the look at something like the Star Trek animated series from that time. You can see how cheap animation was. And this is very obvious, or cheaply made animation was at the time. And this is being animated on to the same quality as Looney Tunes cartoons were in the 30s.
Oh, yeah.
Or 30s and 40s. For being shown on an 80-foot screen where you had to at least give it a little bit of quality. Otherwise, it looked horrible. And they're showing this on 30-inch televisions at the time.
Yeah.
4x3 televisions. So, I mean, I get why they saved a little bit of money and did not reanimate what was essentially the same scenes and just, re-edited some stuff in there to fill out the song, fill out the different verses. Because, I mean, there's I think I saw 8 verses a second ago when I was looking at You're a Mean One, Mr. Grinch, and it's spread out over the course of 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Over the montage of him making the Santa suit and then stealing all the presents and everything. So I understand why in those sections he did a little bit of reused a little bit of animation just to save some time and not have to waste money and reanimating what was essentially the same scenes but maybe from a different angle. I mean, how many other ways can you look at to actually show this creature going in and stealing all this stuff? And it would make sense he might reuse some of his methods in different houses, even though there maybe not that many stockings in every house. Anyway, that's just it's the nitpick because I know why they had to do it, but I still wish maybe they would have at least changed the color of the inside of the houses, changed just something to make it where maybe not go full in and reanimate it, but just do something to make it less obvious that it's the same scene.
Yeah.
Just being reused. Granted, it's being shown on television. We were lucky to get this quality at this time anyway, so they had to cut a corner somewhere. And this is not a bad corner to cut because you're still filling out the animation. It still looks good. I just wish it was not as obvious that it was reused. That's my first dislike. What's your second?
I really don't have any.
Well, I only have one other dislike, really.
Go for it.
This movie is so good that disliking anything about it makes you look like a Grinch yourself.
Indeed.
And that's how I'm going to end my thoughts on How the Grinch Stole Christmas before the ratings, because this is a good movie.
It is.
A good short.
It's a
this
good,
is
solid
far
film.
better than it has any right to be, if we're being honest.
Yeah, if you look at the budget itself, it's just they squeeze every dime out of this thing.
Yeah, there was nothing that was... And they've got to have made this is far better looking than Charlie Brown Christmas.
Yeah, indeed.
And it's far better written, I think. Now, part of that's because it was written by Dr. Seuss. And originally written for the book and just moved over. Granted, maybe just a little bit of cleanup by the other two writers, but this is just such a good little story for what it is. Granted, I think we've all seen it a ton of times and we kind of just know the story, so it's like, it's another Grinch thing. But this is the very best adaptation of the Grinch, in my opinion, and it is a Christmas classic. And it is for that reason I'm giving this a 9.5 for my rating.
Wow.
I'm not giving it a perfect 10 because of the animation reuse.
Of course. Yeah. I would definitely.
What are you rating it?
I'm going to give it a 9. 9. It's there again. It's a stroke of artistic masterpiece. Definitely with its budgets, its restraints, and everything. You're looking at top-notch animation that you would find in Looney Tunes and all those great Tex Avery?
No, Chuck Jones.
I'm sorry, Chuck Jones animations. So just the level of artistic talent, the story, the writing, the story, the lyric from Dr. Seuss, of course. It's just there again. Some of the like it has a few like doesn't have really a lot. There might be like one or two little animation errors. There again, you're talking about a movie that has a small budget.
Small budget for television.
Most
people would just write this off.
Exactly. But this is a masterpiece that definitely needs to go in someone's collection if it's just a movie you watch during Christmas.
Yeah.
And it's a 9. Most definitely. So yeah, definitely go out, go watch it, go buy it, put it in your collection. If you watch just one time a year or twice a year, it's worth it.
Yes.
Buy it on Blu-ray if you're a Blu-ray guy or girl. Just go buy it.
I'm surprised it's not been released on 4K Blu-ray yet.
That is a shocker. It'll probably get there.
Eventually.
So yes.
Which, of course, brings us to the end of this episode of the Cellcast.
Yep.
Trivia for next. Well, here's the thing. This is our last Christmas episode for this year.
Indeed.
It was chosen to only do 3 Christmas episodes this year because January we wanted to do Digimon. Digimon Adventure Try. Problem is, Digimon Adventure Try is 6 movies, and there's only 4 weeks in January.
Yes.
So we had to come back a little. Thankfully, December had 5 weeks. Anyway, so next week we'll be starting a little
I could not help it.
Next week we'll be reviewing Digimon Adventure Try Episode 1 Reunion. Which, despite the fact these are called episodes, they are 6 separate films. So, do you know where you can watch this streaming? Because I haven't looked. I think Crunchyroll, but I think they have it split in like 30-minute chunks.
Yeah, you can watch it on Hulu. You can watch Hulu if you are subscribed to Hulu. But you can also watch it on, of all places, for free on YouTube.
Really?
Yeah, it is. It's not like these are, illegally downloaded and you watch them there. No, these are like legit.
It's not how I had to watch Digimon the movie.
Pretty much.
I should have borrowed that DVD.
You should have.
It was a weird week.
Indeed.
This was 3 years ago.
So yeah, there are multiple ways you can watch this film. You can either go watch it. You can stream it on Hulu, or you can stream it on YouTube for free. It does have commercials, so it's YouTube commercials.
Yeah.
They're like 4 or 5 seconds long. But there again, these movies are accessible, very accessible to if you want to watch them. Now, granted, you have to know what title it is.
Right.
Because it's Digimon Adventure Try. The first movie is called Reunion.
Yes.
And there again, I've already watched the first one. I have no idea what's going on. All I know, it's the original characters. There's a new character shows up, and it's like, what in the world's going on?
I waited for one reason and one reason alone. Thursday starts Retro Rewind's Backlog Golf. And I'm using this as some of my first entries.
Oh, gotcha.
So, I'll be starting this Thursday.
Yeah.
Or Friday or Saturday. I don't know when. But join us for that. Our trivia for that first episode, first movie, is which English voice actor came out of retirement for Digimon Adventure Try?
I think I know who that one is.
I will be posting that tomorrow morning on our Facebook page. So look for that. And give us an answer. And of course, we will read the responses at the beginning of next week's episode.
Yep.
So join us for that. In the meantime, unless you've got anything else.
I'm really excited about this. There again, it's fusing it's Christmas and the New Year's of doing something that I've loved Digimon ever since it came out. It first came out in 1999 on Fox Kids. There again, I was already in high school and I found this and I was like, oh my gosh, where has this been? And I'm definitely looking forward to seeing where the Digidestined from the end of season 2 were or have found themselves. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
You were in high school in 1999?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm not going to fight you over it, but I just realized
I graduated 2002.
I forget this because I'm 2 years behind you.
Yeah.
So in my mind, we graduated closer. But anyway.
Right.
Because I was like, I don't remember being high school age when I first saw Digimon.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Yeah.
So
I would have been like a freshman in high school.
Okay.
Roughly. Yeah. Either way.
Roughly.
Yeah. Roughly.
Okay. In the meantime, this has been Drew.
This is Jacob.
And we will catch you in the next frame.
Come, Jacob. We must prepare for next week.
Prepare for what, Drew?
The same thing we do every week, Jacob. Record a podcast.
Oh, boy.
So where can they find you, Jacob?
You can find me on Facebook at Jacob B. Heron, also on Facebook at Jacob's Daily Art Corner, where I try to draw each and every day. I don't get to it as often as I like, but join me there. Also, you can find me on Instagram at Jacob B. Heron, on Twitter at Jacob Heron, and Letterboxd at Jacob Heron. So where can they find you, Drew?
You can also follow me on Letterboxd at ggeorge759, Facebook as Drew Dodgen, my Facebook page where you can see pictures I've taken at Drew's Photo Bin. You can also follow me on Twitter at ggeorge759.
You can email us at thecellcastpodcast at gmail.com.
You can also follow us on Twitter at cast_cell.
You can follow us on Twitch at twitch.tv/thecellcastgaming.
You can also follow us on YouTube at Cellcast,
Listen to our podcast on Apple Podcasts,
Google Play Podcasts,
Stitcher,
Spotify,
and your favorite podcast directory.
You can also listen to us on the Movie of the Week podcast with Jim Heron, where we talk about live action movies. And remember, Cell is a single L.
Prodigious.